Tree Appraisal, the Masterclass, from roots to records. Welcome to the grand finale of Tree Appraisal series. If you've been with us through the last 8 episodes, you've traveled a long road. We've looked at trees through the eyes of foresters, real estate agents, nurserymen, mathematicians, and attorneys. Today, we are bringing it all together. This is our Masterclass episode, a deep dive summary of everything we've covered, designed to cement these concepts in your mind before you sit for the TPAQ exam. We're going to trace the entire life cycle of an appraisal assignment, from the moment the phone rings to the moment you step off the witness stand. Grab your 10th edition guide, take a breath, and let's begin the review. Part 1. The Philosophical Foundation. Every appraisal begins with a single question: what is the context? As we discussed in Episode 1, a tree doesn't have an inherent price tag. Its value is a reflection of the benefits it provides to a specific user in a specific location. We must distinguish between real estate value, which is how a tree affects the sale price of a property, and amenity value, which is the value of the functional benefits, like shade and aesthetics, the tree provides. This is where the 3 pillars come in: the purpose, the intended use, and the intended user. If you don't know who the report is for or how they plan to use it, you cannot produce a credible opinion. You are the bridge between biology and economics. Part 2. The rules of the game. You aren't a lone wolf out there. You are part of a professional framework. As we saw in Episode 2, the Council of Tree and Landscape Appraisers, CTLA, sets the standards, and the 10th edition guide is our roadmap. The most important takeaway from the 2024 updates is that our industry is moving toward market reality. We are aligning more closely with standard real estate appraisal practices. This means our work must be transparent, repeatable, and, above all, objective. The TPAQ qualification isn't just a badge. It's a promise that you understand these standards and will apply them without bias. Part 3. The Detective Work. In Episode 3, we tackled the effective date. This is where many appraisals fail. You must pin the value to a specific point in time. In a retrospective appraisal, you are often valuing a tree that no longer exists. You have to use extraordinary assumptions to reconstruct the past. You look at stump diameters, neighbor interviews, and historical satellite imagery. Your scope of work is your protection. It tells the client exactly what evidence you used to build your ghost tree. Part 4. The Physical Evidence. Then, we went into the field in Episode 4. Precision is non-negotiable. The 2022 updates gave us the 6 and 12 rule for Caliper. Measure at 6 inches for trees up to 4 inches, and at 12 inches for trees up to 12 inches. Anything larger is measured at dBH 4.5 feet. If you get the measurement wrong, the math that follows is a fiction. We also learned to look for functional limitations. Is the tree leaning? Does it have structural defects? Size gives us the potential value, but condition gives us the actual value. Part 5. The Stage and the Actor. In Episode 5, we zoomed out to the site. In the 10th edition, location was replaced by 3 distinct factors: site, contribution, and placement. The site is the neighborhood's quality. The contribution is what the tree does: privacy, shade, beauty. The placement is whether the tree is in the right spot to do its job. A good tree in a bad placement, like a giant oak under a power line, can actually have a negative value. You must be able to justify these ratings with written observations, not just gut feelings. Part 6. The Math of Replacement. In Episodes 6 and 7, we hit the numbers. The cost approach is our primary tool. We start with the LCANT, the largest commonly available nursery tree. If the tree is small, we use the replacement cost method, which includes the price of the tree, the labor, the equipment, and the cost of care. Remember that planting is not an additional cost, it is a core cost. If the tree is larger than the LCANT, we use the trunk formula method TFM. We calculate a unit cost from the nursery tree and apply it to the square inches of our subject tree. But, and this is the big but from the 2024 journals, we must perform a sanity check. If the trunk formula says a tree is worth $100,000, but a specialized contractor can spade in a similar tree for $40,000, the substitution principle says the lower number is likely the more credible one. Part 7. The Applicability and the Expert. Finally, in the 2025 updates and our Episode 8, we looked at the big picture. The TFM isn't for every tree. We don't use it for invasives, and we don't use it in the middle of a forest. We only use it when it makes sense for the property. And when you take those numbers into a courtroom, you must be the objective expert. No bias, no advocacy for the client, just the data. The 5 biggest mistakes experts make involve lack of preparation and getting defensive. Your job is to stay in your lane, cite the 10th edition, and remain calm. If your logic is sound and your data is documented, you are untouchable. So there it is. The journey from a seed of an idea to a legally defensible dollar amount. If you are preparing for the TPAQ, remember this: the exam is testing your judgment. Anyone can do multiplication. Only a consulting arborist can look at a site, understand the context, choose the right methodology, and defend it with integrity. You have the tools, you have the journals, you have the 10th edition. Now go out there and show the world what these trees are truly worth. For the final time, keep your tapes level, your notes detailed, and your heart in the canopy. You've been listening to the Arborist Podcast. Our goal is to grow our collective knowledge, one domain at a time. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to help us keep this momentum. Until next time, let's keep growing this community together.